Good morning, Emeka.
Good morning, Tenda. It's very nice to be on the weekend show this morning. What a lovely sports it was. Like, I was actually into sports. Like last week, the Champions League, it was so hectic. Inter Milan, look at what they did to Barcelona. But Lamine Yamal, that boy is a genius. I mean, he's going to go places. And yesterday, when I was actually watching the NBA, I saw how Denver Nuggets almost blew out the OKC. Talking of Oklahoma, this morning we're going to be in Oklahoma with our Oklahoman poet, Mr. James Coburn. Mr. James, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, hope you're doing good. How is Oklahoma this morning?
Well, it's 3:45 a.m., so not much is going on, and it's
All
very
right.
quiet.
Okay. You're going to be reciting some two of your pieces for us, right?
Sure, I am.
Okay. Could you
Right.
recite? Could you please recite your piece for us? Because we're itching to hear it.
Okay.
Okay.
A paintbrush, excuse me. A paintbrush in my window silhouettes before vine, calling me to transpose within its leaves, facing challenges to overcome darkness, rising above the disillusion of time, seized by a cauldron of fear, spilling caustic words by a shadow man and his minions who drink his bile. But his thoughts waste away. His legacy of thorns unravel every stitch, stripping his refinement threadbare. A wilderness of seedlings rise before a clash of heat, striking frigid air, falling as rain to overcome what was lost. So rests my soul among doves painting earth until a green oasis, once cast as desert sand, is born. That's my first poem. Pardon my voice. I'm going to take a sip
Okay.
of Coke to refresh my throat. Excuse
Okay.
me. The second poem is about post traumatic stress, dealing with war, dealing with shell shock during World War One when it was so prevalent. When actually it's always been prevalent, but it came to the forefront during World War One. My grandfather had PTSD when he returned from France in World War One. This poem is not specifically about him, but it's about people who live with PTSD, regardless of the situation. It's called A Poet at War. During his walk across the Brooklyn Bridge, faces and conversations left no impression after the Great War. A poet against wind absorbed the shrill silence of death, encased within the interiors of Bellewood, France. Now sleep pelts down on him in New York City. Shell shock left him a life of indifference, beams of steel intransigent, unsettled past, lost pace in atoms fixed in death. Nothing does his poetic eye catch impressions of the crowd around him. Not a brushstroke of words, only scant money he has. Footsteps lag behind zestful younger days. Worn shoelaces, popcorn, and breakfast. Coffee falls from his hand clutching a rail. For him to survive a second longer before an unfathomable wave of war rolls once more. The shell shock of hand to hand combat numbs ambition. Bayonets charge through rippling wheat. A hiss of bullets and bodies fall, splicing his reality. Gaps of light march on. He walks by homeless men, huddled to warm one another in darkness. Away, away. Trenches of war dug into a subway stop surround him in snow, flashing down a trench from years before when he dozed beside a Marine just to keep warm. A match flares on Brooklyn Bridge, settling into his eyes, spanning the boardwalk. His hands reach for his war diary. Bullets whistle in screeching pain. East River boys holler, kicking up snow, evoking his boyhood. If only for a few moments, a frozen night would melt from his fingerprints pressed on cafe glass. Thank you, Emeka, and thank
Oh,
you.
yeah, it's so nice. Thank you so much
Thank
for that,
you.
your piece.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it
thank you.
reminds me of things going on in the world now. We're talking of like the war in Gaza, so much things happening in the world right now. But A Port at War, well, I really do think it was a nice piece. Thank you so much, Mr. James, for coming on the program.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I do
You have
appreciate
it.
it.
I
Yeah,
really
thank
do.
you.
Thank you.
Okay. My lovely viewers all across the world, I hope you've enjoyed watching your Poetic Interlude on the Weekend Show. It was so nice having Mr. James Coburn here from OKC in the US. And I hope you have a very fun Saturday. And I'm going to hand over now to Didi, who's going to end the program.